The National Library of Medicine is home to a wide variety of historically significant books and manuscripts, but one of the most famous is Andreas Vesalius's De Humani Corporis Fabrica, translated in English as On the Fabric of the Human Body. Published in 1543, this work is often seen as a crucial milestone in the history of science, one that revolutionized the field of anatomy. Following Vesalius's treatise, physicians began to question the authority of earlier classical authors, and to instead embrace a form of knowledge based on careful observation and rigorous testing of hypotheses, also known as the scientific method. Born to a family of physicians in what is today part of Belgium, Vesalius studied medicine at universities in Paris and Leuven. In 1537, after earning his medical degree, he was appointed professor of anatomy and surgery at the University of Padua. Up to this period, medical education usually involved reading aloud from the work of a classical author, such as the famous Roman physician Galen, while having a barber surgeon dissect an animal to illustrate the basic principles. Vesalius departed from this practice by carrying out the dissections himself. He thought this was the only way of gaining reliable knowledge about the inner workings of living beings. Thanks in part to a local judge, who agreed to supply him with the corpses of dead criminals, Vesalius was able to study the human body in considerable detail. In doing so, he noticed a number of issues with earlier anatomical theories. For instance, whereas Galen claimed that all mammals had a set of blood vessels at the base of their brain, known as the rete mirabile, or miraculous network, Vesalius observed that this structure was absent in humans. This discovery upended one of the central tenets of classical medicine. Results such as this inspired Vesalius to publish his own work, which he hoped would help to correct the errors of previous authors. In 1543, Vesalius's ideas appeared in print under the title De Humani Corporis Fabrica. This massive treatise covered every aspect of human anatomy, from skeleton to soft tissue, and included not only his lecture notes, but also more than 270 distinctive images. To capture the intricate details of the human body, Vesalius employed a team of illustrators to sketch his subjects at various stages of dissection. In some cases, he even used a system of ropes and pulleys to position the corpse in lifelike poses, allowing the artist to produce highly realistic depictions of the human form. Taken together, these images not only helped to illuminate Vesalius's groundbreaking findings, but also turned the book itself into a work of art. While hundreds of copies of De Fabrica were published during Vesalius's lifetime, the version at the National Library of Medicine is unique. Besides being one of only 300 known first editions, the opening pages also contain a poem handwritten in 1552 by the influential Protestant theologian Philip Melanchthon, entitled On Contemplating the Human Body. Throughout the book, there are several inscriptions that attest to its owners over the years. These include the Polish poet laureate Samuel Radoszynski and the German botanist Ludolf Treviranus. The final indication of provenance appears in the form of a stamp on the title page, which reveals that the book was purchased in 1873 by John Shaw Billings, director of what is today the National Library of Medicine. Since the library acquired this De Fabrica in 1873, scholars have traveled from all across the globe to see it in person and to study the unusual inscriptions found inside. Today, almost 500 years since it was first published, the book remains one of our most treasured items, an indication of not only its historical significance, but also the enduring value of Vesalius's contributions to medicine, and the popular fascination with human anatomy. Explore our copy of De Humani Corporis Fabrica on the National Library of Medicine Digital Collections website, or visit our Circulating Now blog to learn more about the life and work of Andreas Vesalius.